Now we have more light. Again, a reference to the way we see. Then in another, Kryon has always used the metaphor of trying to teach a sightless person what color is, a reference to trying to bring an old energy consciousness into a higher one, almost impossible. So indeed, the eyes have it when it comes to this beautiful comparison, but actually, there's even more. We are told that you can look into someone's eyes and see truth, or perhaps even recognize a past life friend. Now that, I think, Kryon has talked about or referred to. Kryon's also told us to look into the eyes of an animal to see if it recognizes you. What an idea. And many have told us these things have worked in their lives. So I'm going to say to you that I believe the eyes represent an intuitive avenue of esoteric communication for us, and that it's more than a metaphor. But what about a sightless person? They'll tell you, I love to talk about this, they'll tell you that sound is the same, and they can recognize truth in a person's voice. So I think we are given tools of discernment that go way beyond the five senses. And Kryon has already told us that each of us is a transmitter of consciousness. So perhaps our senses, both eyes and ears, and maybe even more, are also our spiritual tools to help us navigate the energy around us, that everybody can do it, not just a few.
I love that answer, Lee. And do you have spiritual sight when it comes to seeing other people's energies or anything like that?
No, I never have. In fact, it's an interesting thing because in the beginning, I think, of Kryon channeling, so many people told me they were seeing things around me when I channel, and I was always disappointed because I don't see anything. So I am not blessed with this second sight at all. And so I feel Kryon, and I know Kryon's there, and it always gives me a love wash, but I don't see things, and many, many others did. So we're all very different.
But I'd love to ask, when you get the channels from Kryon, I know earlier it was thought groups, but do you see things in the channeling?
No, I don't see things in the channeling. Energy is very interesting in what it does. How many of you have had a experience of what I will call twilight sleep, where you're in and out of perceptions of reality? That's the way it appears for me. Now, this may sound strange, and I've never told anybody in any program this, but I can be channeling and also having another experience somewhere else.
That's amazing.
It is. And it's just Kryon's way, I think, of removing me so the channels can be pure. So, but when I come out of it, I'll realize I had a whole other scenario going on, even, while I was channeling.
Great. Well, I think that's probably helped a lot of people, because I know that sometimes many get hung up that they don't see something, or hung up that they don't hear something, or hung up that they don't feel something. We all receive information in so many different ways.
And part of the questions, and even today, and I think last week or the week before, I forget because it all blurs, there were two questions about I don't see this or I don't see that and what's happening. And the answer was you don't have to. Just sit and feel loved. But I'm even in the circle of 12. Now I'm very cognizant of where we're going and what we're doing, but in other meditations I don't. I don't. It's when I say I don't, I mean it's not completely void. But it's not as I would say the perception is not as acute as many people.
I agree. I've had many circle of 12s where I get very clear visuals, and other times it's completely blank. So I think we're just so individual and unique, and even within the experience of our individuality and uniqueness, things can always change. And that's why way back in the past I would begin meditations by saying to release all expectations. Just more about expectations of what you think is going to come, and just to be open to the experience. So with that, let's be open to a new experience, and let's go into a meditation before hearing a channel from Kryon. And with that, I invite you to close your eyes so that you can connect in with what is happening for you in this now moment. And I really do encourage you to close your eyes so that you can just temporarily pause any distractions of outside stimulus and truly go deeply within the core of your being. And the quickest way to connect with the core of your being is to actually focus and place your attention onto your heart center. And you may even want to put a hand onto your heart center. Just from that physical touch of that area will automatically bring your focus, your awareness, your attention onto the heart. And many ask, how do I know the difference between my intuition and my imagination? And some even ask, how do I know that what I perceive is truth? How do I trust my discernment? And my response to those thoughts of inquiry is that your heart will always give you truth. And so connecting in with the energy of what your heart truly wants to convey to you is almost like a litmus test to find out if you are resonating to what's being presented. You are in alignment with the core essence of you through your heart energy, which is connected to your soul energy. And your heart and soul will always want to deliver to you the truth. And it's invested in your own highest good, the most benevolent outcome you can possibly imagine for yourself comes from this place. And now that we have connected deeper to that place, that resonance of our heart and soul core energy, let us now invite in the message from Kryon.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. The subject of this month, and even partially of last month, is about timing. The timing we talk about now, right now, is more personal than an overview. This particular channel, I want to talk about something that is really part of your everyday life and existence. Now, we have spoken many times about the energy of not just expectations, but of affirmations, of thinking, positive and negative, and what happens when you do. We are going to talk about the timing of synchronicity. So in order to make this channel more complete, there must be a review. In this, a channel about drilling down to talk about something specific in timing for you, we have to also talk more about the energy. And that energy that we want to talk about mostly is that energy of that which brings to you what you create. Now, you can call that energy whatever you want to, but the way it works is very profound. It's almost too profound, because there will be those who say, Kryon, what you have just told me doesn't exist. If you would interview most humans on the planet, they would tell you that you are born, and if you're lucky, you exist. If you're lucky, you won't have accidents that may terminate your life or cripple you, if you're lucky. And that if you're not lucky, it'll be the opposite. And so it seems to be, at some level, you are a victim of chance. And most would say, that's correct. I mean, why wouldn't it be? You can't control the future. You may not be able to control the future, dear ones, but you can control the present. And we have told you that that which some call the law of attraction is you putting energy in front of you somehow, so that when you arrive at that place where you've put that energy, you get synchronicity. So let's back up and talk a little more about that. There is something around this planet, around the consciousness, that is not even esoteric. It's physical. It is called the field. It is a multi-dimensionality where consciousness, which is energy, resides. This is being studied and validated at so many levels that someday it'll have a name, more than just the field. And those who expect these good things to happen actually put it in the field. And when they do so, it helps to arrange their lives so that as they walk forward, they will have the correct things happen. Let me put it this way. Any road that you might go to and you don't know what it is may have potholes and rocks and smooth areas. So there are those who say you're blindfolded and you may trip on the rocks or step in the potholes, and it's called chance and luck. Then I come along and tell you that if you were to project that you would only be in smooth areas, that there is some kind of energy that leads you into the smooth areas. And that is synchronicity. That is what you call it. Some just call it luck. We call it synchronicity. I'm going to go further. I call it created synchronicity. Now, the synchronicity doesn't always have to be positive. Now, I have talked to you about this before, and I'm going to do it again, because you cannot hear this too many times. If you are always negative, if you are invested in how this planet has victimized you and you'll never get ahead, you are going to create your own synchronicity, and you're going to step in every pothole that exists. Are you getting this? You create that which is your reality as you walk. You're not necessarily creating your future, you're creating your present. But you have put in front of you your future an energy of synchronicity, and you've given it a positive twist, a thought. And these are the affirmations that we talk about. Kryon, is this positive thinking? Is this just something you hope for? When it comes to synchronicity, it's not hoping, dear ones. We have given you instructions that said it's almost like ordering on a menu. That if you expect these things every day, on a daily basis, they occur. Now, there would be those who are so linear listening to this, and you're going to say this, well, that's absurd, because if I have a problem and I just don't know the solution, how can I put in front of me the solution, Kryon? So let me, old linear one, give you the answer to that. Here is your projection. Here is your affirmation. As I walk forward, I will always step into that which will give me solutions to my problems. How about that one? In other words, you don't have to put in front of you absolutely everything that you're wanting or look for or expect, but that which perhaps is even greater. Dear Spirit, let me always walk in the light. Dear Spirit, put me in the best places I can be. Now, the circle of 12, we're going to enhance this just a little more. But there are things that you can give yourself in these affirmations that people don't even think of. What kind of control do you think you have? Let me ask a question. Have you ever had an experience where you were about to do something you'd planned, perhaps something you looked forward to, perhaps something you expected, and you were stopped? Tonight in the Circle of 12, I'll tell you why. If you are asking to create synchronicity and there's something in front of you that's inappropriate,